after my mother passed away. It was kind of the motivation. I was doing it in her honor and now doing it in her memory. So I just wanted to do something, and the time was right.
David Shuey is training for the ride of his life.
Let's take it a little faster.
This summer, he's going to be riding across America, 67 days,
You're working hard.
65 miles a day from Seattle, Washington to Cape May, New Jersey. After watching arthritis slowly destroy his mother's body.
She had had 6 spinal fusions, spent the last 15 years of her life in a wheelchair, the last 2 years of her life in bed.
Shuey is determined to help others who suffer from this crippling disease. He wants his cross-country ride to raise awareness, and he wants to be an inspiration to others. You see, he too lives with arthritis.
Part of the idea for the ride is to let people know that have arthritis that they can live an active life. Today was a big day. I did 100 miles from Cle Elum to Othello, Washington. I traveled on Interstate 90 again for the beginning of the ride. The bridge across the Wampum River has no shoulder, so I just pedaled as fast as I could and hoped for the best. A fairly scary crossing. Day 5 and I'm still alive. I left Washington State behind and entered Idaho. 1 state down, a few more to go. Today I'm seeking wisdom, Montana. I wake up early to get a jump start on the day because I know that I'll be taking my time climbing through Chief Joseph Pass, the biggest challenge of the trip so far. I don't know Chief Joseph, but I already don't like him. I started south on Route 93. The rain was a cool drizzle. If you want a test of your fortitude, let me suggest you visit Darby, Montana and bike up Chief Joseph Pass. Day 25, Breckenridge, Colorado to Hartselle, Colorado. From 9,500 feet in Breckenridge up to an elevation of 11,600 feet over the Hoosier Pass. The first 6 miles of the climb were fairly gradual. The next 4 miles were an entirely different story. Finally, we completed the last 3 hairpin turns and spotted the sign for the Continental Divide. On day 49 of my ride, I discovered that I was a day ahead of schedule and decided to take a rest on Friday and Saturday in Cincinnati. Rest is a relative term, I found out, because the Arthritis Foundation staff and volunteers had some plans for my 2 days. On Friday morning, I was picked up at my hotel and we drove out to the countryside to Camp Joy, where 44 kids with arthritis were finishing their week of summer camp. The kids gathered around in a pavilion and I spoke to them briefly about my ride and why I was doing it. Mostly for them. On Saturday, I met with families and children who brought their tricycles and bicycles. The kids all had rheumatoid arthritis. We took a ride in the park.
Imagine biking from Seattle, Washington to New Jersey. One man isn't imagining it, but rather doing it. David Shuey has biked almost 3,400 miles in the past 60 days. He's biking cross-country to raise money and awareness for arthritis. Shuey says he suffers from osteoarthritis, which his mother died from last year. He hopes that this trip across country will inspire others suffering from the debilitating condition to begin moving more.
Water aerobics and Tai Chi and those types of things are really good for your joints when you have bone disease. So I'm trying to make a point, I guess, that you know, riding a bike across America is the ultimate let's move together kind of thing.
On a bicycle, pedaling across America, all in the name of arthritis research.
Now, David Shuey started his ride in Seattle, and he's now passing through our area here. Chris Van Cleve has more on his summer adventure.
David Shuey is a man on a mission, a road trip of sorts stretching nearly 4,000 miles across 14 states over 65 days, and he's doing it alone.
I'm part of this was to kind of go out and encounter America.
Why would a 59-year-old insurance broker from Philly use all of his annual vacation plus some to bike coast to coast? To honor his mother, Marcy. She died last November after spending 15 years in a wheelchair because of spinal stenosis and osteoarthritis, conditions David now also suffers from.
Unfortunately, she passed away before I could accomplish the ride. But she had two reactions. What, are you crazy? And I'm really proud of you.
From the mid-plains to the mid-Atlantic, David Shuey has been pedaling across America to honor his mother and raise awareness for arthritis research. And he has covered 4,000 miles, 14 states, over 65 days now. And David joins us this morning to share his journey and the inspiration behind it. David, good morning. Welcome to Fox 5.
Good morning.
How has it been, first of all? This is truly an endeavor.
It is. It's been wonderful, grueling. It's been a lot of different things. It's
right.
a challenge, but it's just been amazing to come out and encounter America on a bicycle.
My next guest is riding his bike across country for a great cause. Join me as I go one-on-one with David Shuey. All right, David Shuey, welcome to the set. I really appreciate you being here. Now, you started in June in Seattle, and you're working your way all the way around the country. How much left do you have on this bike ride? You're raising money for arthritis?
That's right.
How much do you have left here?
I only have 5 days left, so I've been on the road for 60 days.
That's been an interesting show. What was the inspiration for this? For this particular, at this timing?
Yeah, I've been riding a bicycle for about 30 years because I have osteoarthritis and I can't do high-impact sports. So about 2 years ago, I got this harebrained idea that it would be fun to ride a bicycle across America and use the opportunity to raise money for the Arthritis Foundation. My mom had spinal stenosis and osteoarthritis, so I was doing the ride in her honor, and unfortunately she passed away last year, so I'm doing it in her memory.
Well, a cyclist is using his hobby to get the word out about arthritis. David Shuey is just days away from completing a 4,000-mile bicycle journey across the United States. We caught up with him today in Annapolis. Shuey's mother battled arthritis, and he was also recently diagnosed.
A lot of people think of arthritis as an old person's disease that you just get up in the morning, take a couple over-the-counter pills, and go do yoga in the park. And certainly that wasn't the way it was for my mother.
Besides raising awareness, Shuey is also raising money for arthritis research, and he has ties to Baltimore. Shuey once lived here, and his children still do. He will complete his ride Sunday on his 60th birthday in Cape May, New Jersey.
David Shuey started in Seattle on June 5th. He's pumped over hills, glided across plains, and now he's reached Annapolis. The cross-country ride ends Sunday on his 60th birthday in Cape May, New Jersey. It's in memory of his mother.
My mother was diagnosed with spinal stenosis and osteoarthritis, and spent the last 15 years of her life in a wheelchair.
When Shuey lived in Baltimore until recently, he headed the Arthritis Foundation board. His ride is meant to increase awareness about the disease, and so far, he's raised $56,000.
People think of arthritis, they immediately think of it's an old person's disease. There are 300,000 children in America with rheumatoid arthritis. It's an autoimmune disease.
All of his needs are on board his bike.
A collapsible spare tire. Here's all my tools. This is a first aid kit.
The insurance broker had to continue working during the trek, so he also has a laptop, a cell phone, and broadband capability. David Shuey is regularly contributing online to a blog where people can follow his progress and also read interesting stories.
The final day's ride began in Harrington, Delaware. I decided to ride south on busy Route 13 so we could catch Country Road 18 east into Lewes, Delaware. The adventure is almost finished. Sunday is my birthday, and the day that I will make the ride official by dipping the front wheel of my trusty bike into the Atlantic Ocean. I began the ride by dipping my rear wheel in the Pacific Ocean. Coast to coast, 65 days through 15 states in the District of Columbia. I turned the pedal crank an estimated 1,360,000 times, drank 30 gallons of vitamin water, ate 300 shot blocks, crossed the Continental Divide 7 times, climbed to 11,600 feet above sea level, went through 2 sets of tires but didn't have a single flat, endured countless storms, saw elk, moose, wolves, eagles, cows, camels, kangaroos, and rode on a variety of road surfaces, met amazing, wonderful people, slept in all kinds of weird places, toured with my best friends, and discovered America in the best possible way on a bicycle.